Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. As you remember, the notorious international criminal known as the Yellow Mask has escaped from prison to join forces with Max Heller, head of a foreign espionage ring. The Mask, who earned his name because of the yellowish pallor of his skin, has planned with Heller to spread fear and panic by striking at American defense industries. Already, the only existing set of plans and blueprints showing the construction of an amazing radio-controlled mechanical man are in the hands of the two enemies of freedom. But Clark Kent, in reality Superman, has been appointed a special Secret Service operative, not only to recover the mechanical man blueprints, but to get the goods on both Heller and the Mask. However, Lois Lane, star girl reporter of the Daily Planet, overhears Kent telling his editor, Perry White, of the new assignment, and decides to take matters into her own hands. She learns that Heller is suspected of maintaining headquarters in a fashionable metropolis penthouse. Arriving there in a taxi, she tells Tony, the driver, to wait for her around the corner. Unaware that they are about to have a visitor, Max Heller and the Mask are discussing sabotage plans when the buzzer on the ingenious interroom communicating device sounds.
Excuse me. Yes?
There's a woman in the foyer. She wishes to see you.
She gives the name?
Yeah, Gertrude Stein.
Identification?
No.
The signal?
No.
I will look at her. There's a woman waiting to see me.
One of your agents?
Evidently not. She gives no identification and no signal. She says her name is Gertrude Stein. I will look her over.
And expose yourself to her?
That is not necessary. Watch closely. I press this button, hidden behind the drapery, and a small panel in the wall opens. Now, look through the opening. Tell me what you see.
A girl standing in the foyer. Well, how's it done? This room is nowhere near the foyer.
An ingenious arrangement of mirrors. Is our visitor attractive?
I can't tell. Her back is turned.
Yeah, let me look. She's facing us now. Very attractive, I would say. A little nervous and ill at ease. One thing, though, is certain. Her name is not Gertrude Stein. Here, what do you think? Look at her. Well?
I've seen that girl before, Heller.
Really? How interesting. Who is she?
I can't place her looking at her this way. The image is too small.
Shall we invite her in?
Wait. I'd like to remain undercover for a while. Someplace where I can observe her without her seeing me.
That is easily arranged. They simply press another hidden button, and a large panel in the opposite wall will open. You will notice, once you have stepped inside, and I have closed the panel, that the eyes in the picture hung on the panel have been painted on thin gauze. You will be able to see through them.
That's perfect.
I shall ask the young lady in. Strauss.
Ja, Herr Heller.
I will see Miss Gertrude Stein. Now, to close the viewing device, you may step into the wall aperture. Keep your hands back as the panel slides shut. You ready?
Yes.
You do not have to worry about suffocation. The aperture is air-conditioned.
I was wondering about that.
Now, quiet. Our visitor's coming.
Miss Gertrude Stein.
Come in, Miss Stein.
Thank you, Herr Heller.
That will be all, Strauss. Won't you sit down, Miss Stein?
Thank you. You must forgive me for my nervousness, but they have been following me. It was difficult escaping them.
Really?
Oh, yes. It was the same in London.
Oh, you worked in London.
Since the beginning of the war.
I see. Well, then, of course, you must know Carl Liebling.
I know him well. It was Herr Liebling who told me to report to you. You see, I am considered quite valuable since I speak English quite fluently.
And beautiful, if I may say so.
Thank you. Well, I am at your service, Herr Heller. There must be a great deal to be done here in America.
Yes, a great deal. But first, I should like you to meet my colleague, provided he is ready. Are you mein Herr?
Yes, I'm ready.
Who's speaking? Where did that voice come from?
I will show you, Fraulein, by pressing this little button. Watch. You two have met before, perhaps?
Most assuredly we have. Haven't we, Miss Lane?
I have never seen this man before. And why does he call me by another name?
Drop the phony accent. You're a reporter on the Daily Planet newspaper, and your name is Lois Lane.
The man is out of his mind.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Without any corroboration, I would have mistrusted you. You failed to present either identification or the accepted signal. You told me you knew Carl Liebling in London when no such man exists. What do you take me for, fool?
But I tell you...
It doesn't matter what you tell us, Miss Lane. I knew we'd met before. I never forget a face. Certainly not a pretty face.
You can keep your compliments to yourself. All right, I am Lois Lane. So what? Two can play at your game.
Yes, but one always loses. And this time you have lost. It is unfortunate the stakes are so high. Very unfortunate.
What exactly do you mean?
I mean simply that you will have to suffer for your impudence. If you had no better sense than to attempt this stupid, childish method of getting information, you will pay for that stupidity, as others before you have paid.
This isn't the first time she's interfered with me, Heller.
It will be the last.
You can't threaten me. Goodbye.
That door is locked, Miss Lane. So is that...
Let me out of here.
Don't upset yourself.
Let me out of here, I said.
I heard you the first time.
Now look here, you two. I'm an American citizen, and this isn't a concentration camp. We're not in Germany now. We're in the United States. You can't pull any of your tricks.
As far as you're concerned, Miss Lane, this penthouse apartment might just as well be in Siberia.
Except that you won't freeze to death. Because we're going to make it hot for you.
Well, that's very funny. But you won't think it's so funny when I...
Then what?
Never mind.
You had best learn, Fraulein, that when I ask a question, I expect an answer.
Take your hand off my arm.
You were about to tell us something of interest.
I changed my mind. Let go of my arm. You're hurting me.
Why did you come here? Who sent you?
Oh, go ahead. Break my arm. Demonstrate how powerful you are. How strong, how courageous.
Speak up.
It's your last chance. You'll crawl like the insect you are when the FBI men get here.
You hear that?
She's bluffing.
Perhaps. But we cannot afford to gamble on it.
No, don't gamble, Heller. As you said, someone is bound to lose. And this time it may be you.
I would not count on it if I were you, Fraulein. Strauss,
Ja, Herr Heller.
we will leave at once, in the usual manner. It is possible there may be visitors after we are gone. Take the necessary precautions. That is all. Now, Miss Lane, if you will be so kind as to accompany us to the terrace.
I find it quite comfortable in here, thank you.
Your comfort is not one of my primary considerations. If you please.
The night air doesn't agree with me.
That is indeed unfortunate. But under the circumstances of no importance, I am sure our mutual friends, the Yellow Mask, will be happy to escort you to the terrace.
More than happy. And you'd better come quietly.
Keep away from me, I'm warning you.
Just take it easy.
You let go of me.
Take it easy.
Put your hand over her mouth.
With her frantic cries for help muffled and unheard, Lois is forced out on the terraced roof of the apartment building. Meanwhile, Tony, the cab driver, having grown impatient, tried to gain access to the penthouse without success. Worried, he drove back to the Daily Planet and enlisted the help of Clark Kent. We join them in the taxi as it races to the apartment house.
The last thing she said was, wait for me around the corner. I'll be down in an hour.
When was this?
10 minutes after 9.
Uh-huh.
Well, I waited, but she didn't show. So then I tried to get up to the penthouse where she said she was going. Nothing doing. I tell you, Mr. Kent, that apartment house is phony. Now, one of them guys can even talk good. They all got foreign accents. The guy that runs the elevator, the doorman, even the superintendent. What kind of a joint is it?
I don't know, Tony, but we'll find out.
I sure hope nothing happened to Miss Lane.
Don't you worry about Lois. She can take care of herself.
I hope.
Why wouldn't they let you up to the penthouse, did they say?
Yeah, they give me a cock and bull story about the place being empty, nobody living there.
Huh?
I knew it was a lot of malarkey because if the joint was empty, why did Miss Lane come right down? That makes sense, don't it?
Certainly does.
Here we are, Mr. Kent.
All right, now you stay in the cab, Tony.
Okay.
Keep the motor running. I'll go around the side of the building, do a little investigating.
You sure you don't want me along?
Positive. I'll be back soon.
Okay.
Only one way to get up to that penthouse.
As Superman. Now, I could wring Lois's neck for doing this. Not only is she endangered herself, but now it'll take twice as long to get anything on Heller and the Mask. This side street looks dark enough. Nobody in sight. Off with these clothes. And up! Up! There. This must be the terrace. I don't see any lights, but that door should lead somewhere. locked. I'll have to force it. There. That does it. Now to look around. It's funny. The place does seem empty. No furniture, no rugs. I wonder whether the lights work. Try that switch. Yeah, they work all right. The room's barren. Nothing but four walls. That's what they told Tony, that the penthouse was unoccupied. Still, it doesn't make sense. Where's Lois? Wait a minute. I hear a faint hissing sound. That's either steam or compressed air, but where's it coming from? What? Great Scott. What was that?
Unaware that what he has just heard is mysteriously connected with the disappearance of Max Heller, the Yellow Mask, and Lois, Superman stands in the seemingly unoccupied apartment, staring at the four blank walls. Suddenly he stiffens. His eyes light up. What has he seen? What strange, fearful thing has his amazing X-ray vision shown him? Don't miss the next thrilling episode. Tune in and listen, We're the Superman. And now to our story. Posing as the foreign agent, Lois Lane gained entrance to the penthouse apartment of Max Heller, leader of a German espionage ring, only to have her true identity exposed by the Yellow Mask, Heller's partner in espionage. Informed by the taxi driver who had taken her to the apartment that she had seemingly disappeared, Clark Kent, as Superman, leaped to the terrace, forced a door, and entered one of the large rooms. To his amazement, he found it empty and unoccupied. Nothing but four blank walls. Suddenly, he heard a strange hissing off in the distance, as though a rocket were being catapulted into space. Puzzled, he stared at the blank walls, bringing into play his amazing power of X-ray vision. What he saw startled him. As our story continues today, an hour has passed. Superman has left the penthouse apartment and returned to it as Clark Kent, accompanied by Major Campbell, chief of the espionage division of the Secret Service. Listen.
Well, there's no question about this apartment being unoccupied, Kent. Evidently, we had the wrong steer. Max Heller wasn't using this as his headquarters.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Major Campbell, the first time I saw these blank walls.
You mean Heller did occupy these premises?
There's no question about it.
When did he move?
He hasn't moved.
Now, look here, Kent. There isn't a stick of furniture in the place. We've gone through all 7 rooms.
I know.
Well, don't tell me Heller and his gang slept on the floors.
No, not at all. This apartment is still beautifully furnished.
Kent, are you out of your mind? Do you call this furnished? Why, there isn't even a picture on the walls. Now, look, Kent, we're at war. There's a lot of work to be done. We can't afford to waste time on practical jokes. I'm really surprised at you.
You're going to be more surprised in a moment. Just follow me.
Hey, where are you going?
Into this closet.
Huh? Now what?
Just step inside here a moment, will you?
Yeah.
All the way in, please.
Oh, Kent, if this is some silly trick of yours...
It's a trick, all right, but it isn't mine and it isn't silly. Keep your eye on that wall of the closet.
Yeah. What are you fumbling for? What do you expect to find in here?
A little push button. Ah, here it is. Now, watch.
A secret panel.
Exactly. You see what's behind it?
Looks like a control board. Well, those are switches, aren't they?
Yes, and each one is marked. Look. There's living room, dining room, foyer, kitchen. Each room has its own switch.
What are they for, Kent?
Major Campbell, you're about to see something that will not only amaze you, but prove to you that Max Heller is no ordinary espionage agent. The man is clever, and we've got to be just a little more clever to catch him with the goods.
Oh, what is this thing you're going to show me?
Don't step outside this closet now. You may get hurt. Just watch the room with its 4 blank walls and not a stick of furniture. I'm going to pull the switch marked living room. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Good heavens, Kent. The walls are swinging around. The floor is turning upside down.
Keep watching, Major. The entire room will turn inside out. In a moment, you'll see it completely furnished, from pictures on the walls to ashtrays on the tables.
Kent, it's amazing. I scarcely believe my eyes.
There. Transformation is complete. You can step out of the closet now.
Yes, but how do those chairs and couches stay where they are? Why don't the lamps fall over when the floor upends?
Everything is bolted down. Tables, chairs, and couches are bolted to the floor. The lamps are bolted to the tables. Even the ashtrays can't be moved.
Oh, I see. How on earth did you discover this, Kent?
Well, fortunately, I can see through...
See through what? Walls?
Hardly, sir. What I meant was that I could see through tricks like this.
Oh.
I knew the apartment couldn't be empty, and yet it was, despite the fact that there hadn't been time to strip it of its furnishings.
I still can't believe it, Kent. You said Heller was clever. Brilliant is the word.
Mm.
If you hadn't stumbled on this ingenious device, Heller might have kept this hideout a secret from us forever. Oh, no. What about Miss Lane?
Her disappearance puzzles me. Your men have searched the building from top to bottom, haven't they?
Not only that, but every employee from the Janet Up has been grilled. No, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's to be expected. I'm certain they're all in Heller's employ.
Where could Miss Lane be?
Well, either with Heller or trailing him. From the looks of things, I'm afraid she's with him. That's why he skipped out in such a hurry. Lois probably tipped him off that we knew about this hideout.
And then to find her, we've got to find Heller. That won't be so easy.
Hmm.
I wish she hadn't interfered.
So do I, but that's water over the dam. The damage is done. All we can do is try and correct it. Heller has the only existing set of blueprints showing how to construct a mechanical man. And he has Lois. Thus far, things have been going his way. That won't last long.
Well, what do you propose doing?
Well, first, we've got to know how Heller left the building. He certainly didn't go out the front entrance, not if he had Lois with him.
Well, we've had men stationed front and back for a week, Kent. I told you we were watching the building. I have a complete report here in my pocket. Yeah, let me see. Heller entered the building through the front entrance 5 days ago, and he never left.
And yet he's gone.
Well, how? He may be clever, but he certainly can't fly.
Wait a minute. Fly.
Oh, don't be silly, Kent. After all, there's a limit to...
No, wait.
Huh?
You remember my telling you I heard a strange hissing sound like escaping steam?
Yes, but what's that got to do with it?
When you mentioned flying, something struck me. Let's have a look at the terrace. We may find something interesting.
All right, I don't know what you expect to find out here.
There's no telling. I better lead the way. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, here, wait a minute. I'll get a pocket flash.
Oh, good. Let me have it, will you? Thanks. There, that's better.
Well, look at the size of this terrace.
Big enough to park a small plane, isn't it?
Kent, is that what you're thinking, that Heller had a plane up here?
Possible, isn't it?
Well, hardly. There isn't even enough room for a takeoff and landing of an autogyro, much less a regular airplane.
Hold up a minute. What are those steel cylinders stacked up there?
Well, that's strange. Yeah, let's look at them.
Yeah. Compressed air cylinders. That's what made that hissing sound.
Yeah, but what are they used for?
I don't know, but we're going to find out. Great Scott.
What is it, Kent?
Look, where I'm shining the light.
Huh?
There's an opening in the brick wall. Come on.
Okay, now be careful, Kent. Neither of us is armed.
There's nothing in here but some mechanism. Look at it, Major. What do you think it is?
I don't know, Kent. I've never seen anything like it before. What's your guess?
It isn't a guess. That's an airplane catapult, operated by compressed air. Heller did get away in a plane.
Well, now, not so fast, Kent. Mustn't jump at conclusions. What makes you think this mechanism is a plane catapult?
I've seen catapults on naval airplane carriers. This one is similar.
Well, maybe you're right, but... Oh, now, wait a minute. It's impossible. How could they ever get a plane into this opening in the wall? It's deep enough, but it can't be more than 10 feet wide. A plane needs wings to fly, you know.
Well, maybe the wings on this plane fold back against the fuselage. When it's catapulted, it shoots up like a rocket. The wings unfold and it flies.
Kent, you're letting your imagination run away with you. It's like something out of a book.
Well, anything's possible in this day and age. You never would have believed a complete room could be turned inside out.
No, but...
The more I think about this, the more I'm convinced we have the answer.
But, Kent, a plane with folding wings that could be shot into the air like a rocket would be invaluable.
Well,
If Heller's using one, it can't be any secret to his government.
probably isn't.
Well, then why haven't they made use of them in the war?
Maybe they are. You remember the sudden Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor? Hundreds of planes came over. Too many to be launched from a carrier. Well, it might very well have been that most of those planes were catapulted from the decks of destroyers with mechanisms like this. Shot into the air like rockets, one after the other.
You really think so?
It's possible. As I said, almost anything is.
All the more reason for getting our hands on Max Heller quickly. I'll put every man in the department on his trail.
Yeah, we never catch him that way. And if we did, what good would it do us? He's a naturalized American citizen, isn't he?
Yes. But if we can ever prove he's a foreign agent, he'll lose that citizenship fast enough.
Yeah, that's just the point. We can't afford to bring him in until we have an airtight case against him. Of course, if he's abducted Lois, that's enough to put him behind bars for a good long stretch.
Oh, I'd forgotten about Miss Lane and all this excitement. You're convinced Heller has taken her with him?
Oh, no question about it. She'll make a perfect hostage in case he gets into a jam.
But isn't he liable to do her some harm?
No. Heller's too smart for that. Lois is worth more to him alive. That's why I'm not too worried, at least for the present. Only one thing that bothers me. How are we going to locate Heller?
Well, there's only one way. Put 2,000 trained men on his trail.
I'd like to avoid that if we can. Let him think he's fooled us. Then he won't be on his guard. Sooner or later, he'll come back here. Or one of his henchmen will.
Yes, I know, Kent, but he has the blueprints for that mechanical man. He'll start building those steel monsters and creating panic. You know what happened when that first one got loose? It terrified people.
No, don't worry about that. After all, he's in America. You can't find facilities for building 10-foot steel giants on every corner. That takes time, and it must be done undercover.
Well, after what I've seen tonight, I'm almost ready to believe it can create miracles. But I'm willing to go along with you if whatever you suggest doesn't endanger the lives of innocent people. All we need is one more mechanical man scared to throw this country into panic, and that's what men like Heller are trying to do. Get under our skin, frighten us, break down morale. They did it in Norway, and Denmark, and France. You can't let them do it here.
They won't. Americans don't frighten that easily.
I hope you're right. Well, what's the next step?
We'll leave everything as we found it. Let's get back and turn that room into 4 bare walls again. Come on.
It seems to me we're taking a long chance.
Wait a minute.
Huh? What's the matter?
Someone's in the apartment. I heard a door open.
It may be one of my men.
Let's make sure first. Listen.
Hey, that's not one of my men.
No, it's one of Heller's. Don't move.
Hey, Kent, they're coming out here. We're trapped.
Fine. We're going to let them capture us.
Are you mad?
It's the only way to discover where Heller's hiding out. They'll take us to him. Now, don't resist.
But they must have guns. They'll shoot to kill.
No, they won't. Quiet. Here they come.
Crouched in the darkness, Kent and Major Campbell listened to the approaching footsteps of Heller's henchmen. Undoubtedly, the foreign agents are armed, and although Kent has no fear of their guns himself, one stray bullet knifing out of the black may take the life of Major Campbell. What will happen? Don't miss the next startling episode. Tune in and listen. We're the Superman. And now to our story. When Clark Kent and Major Campbell, chief of the espionage division of the Secret Service, investigated the penthouse apartment of Max Heller, head of a foreign spy ring, they discovered 2 startling things. One, that the walls and floor of each room in the apartment could be turned inside out by throwing a switch. In this way, the apartment could be made to appear unoccupied. But more amazing was the airplane catapult Kent found on the terrace. Operated by compressed air, it was capable of shooting a plane into the sky like a rocket, provided the plane was equipped with folding wings. Kent surmised this was the case and decided Heller and his partner, the Yellow Mask, had escaped in that manner, taking Lois Lane with them. As Kent and Major Campbell walked back along the terrace, they heard the guttural voices of foreigners, and 2 of Heller's men approached in the darkness. Listen.
We're going to give ourselves up, Major Campbell. Don't resist them.
Kent, you're out of your mind.
No, I'm not. We can't possibly locate Heller's new hideout unless they take us there as prisoners. It's the only way. Now, trust me.
But you don't know these men. They're killers. They won't hesitate.
Quiet. Wait a minute. Here they come. I'll handle it. We're right here. Get down, Major.
See, Kent, I told you.
Just keep low and start crawling back. They can't see us in the dark. Once we get around that bend behind the brick wall, we're all right. Come on.
We haven't a chance now. They know we're here. We're dead men, Kent.
All right, slip behind the wall.
No, what? Just a matter of time. No way of getting off this terrace except through those French doors.
I didn't think they'd shoot.
That's because you don't know them. Listen to the filthy beggars.
What are they saying?
They couldn't catch it all, but the first one said not to waste bullets until they saw us.
I think I'll give them that opportunity. They crave fight, they'll get it. You stay here.
Now, Kent, where are you going?
Take their toy pistols away.
Hey, Kent, you're mad. It's suicide.
Don't worry, Major. I can handle them.
Kent, come back. Hey, Kent.
Might be suicide for anyone else, but it's just a little workout.
For Superman. All right, my quick-triggered friends. Here's your chance to get a little free target practice.
Go.
I'll shine Campbell's flashlight in my face just to make it easy for them. Here goes. Not bad at all. 2 of those bounced off my chest. Poor Campbell, he's dying 1,000 deaths. Probably thinks I'm riddled by this time. So do those heinies. Here they come. Now for the finishing touch. Well, you boys aren't bad with guns. Now let's use this. Try this for size. That was a perfect fit. Now, how about you? Swinging that gun won't help you, but this might. It did. Helped you right into dreamland. Next time you won't play so rough.
Kent, where are you? Answer me.
Right. Almost made a mistake then. Used my real voice. This has to be Kent talking.
I'm right here, Major Campbell. Everything's okay. You can come out from behind that wall.
Kent, you're alive. How did you survive those bullets? I can't believe it.
Well, there's the proof. 2 ice-cold foreign agents. Ugly devils, aren't they?
But Kent, how did you do it? I heard 3 shots.
Neither of them could hit the side of a barn. Shall we drag them inside? It's a cinch they're not going to walk for a while. You take the little one. I'll handle this big
All
bruiser.
right. You don't know the meaning of fear, Kent. Not another man alive would have done what you did. It's beyond all belief. Washington will hear about this.
I'd much rather they wouldn't. Here, dump these specimens in the corner. Yeah, it's fine. I expected the entire police department to be up here by this time.
Well, those shots may have sounded like backfiring down on the street.
Wait a minute. What's that?
Yes, sounds like Morse code.
Yeah. It's coming from behind those bookshelves. Hear it?
Yes.
One of these shelves must open or slide back. Ah, this one probably. The books on it are dummies. Now, wait a minute. Let's see
You
here.
think there's a radio behind it?
I'm sure of it. Here, I got it. It swings around on a pivot.
It's a radio, all right.
Sir, shortwave sending and receiving set, voice and key.
Hey, wait a minute. That isn't Morse code.
No. It's code of some kind. Listen.
Nothing I ever heard before.
No. Let's get some of it down on paper. Maybe we can decipher it later. Do you have a pencil?
Yes, here.
All right. Let's get as much as we can. May give us a clue.
As Kent and Major Campbell attempt to record the dots and dashes of the unknown wireless code coming from the hidden shortwave receiver, a strange scene is being enacted in the basement room of an abandoned factory 200 miles from the city of Metropolis. There, Max Heller is bent over a portable shortwave wireless transmitter, sending the coded message Kent and Campbell are attempting to receive. Standing beside him is his new partner in espionage, the Yellow Mask.
It's no use. Strauss isn't there. I told him I would get to him promptly at midnight. Something must have happened.
He may have forgotten.
My men never forget. It amounts to suicide. No, something has gone wrong. Strauss would be there.
How could anything have gone wrong? Everyone in this apartment house works for you, from the janitor up.
I know, but there's always a chance. I don't like it. It may mean finding another location in the city. That will be difficult.
You know who's to blame if anything has gone wrong, Heller?
Who?
That Lane girl.
I'll bring her in. Perhaps she has changed her mind about talking.
I doubt it.
No, Strauss could not have forgotten. He's too reliable. Something has happened. I know it.
Let go of my arm.
Here she is, Heller.
Close the door.
Now, what do you want? I thought I made it clear to you, Heller, that all the questioning in the world won't do you a bit of good.
There will be no more questioning, Miss Lane. I think shortly you will be willing to tell me how you know of my headquarters in the city.
Well, think again.
Once is enough. Have you ever seen a mechanical man, Miss Lane?
She's seen one, all right. She wrote that story in the Daily Planet when Thornton's model got loose. She was an eyewitness.
Is that true?
Isn't everything the Yellow Mask says true?
This is no time for humor. Evidently you fail to realize we are not playing a game. Whether or not I learn how you discovered my whereabouts is relatively unimportant. It's just that I am curious. And frequently I will go to any extremes to satisfy my curiosity. You understand?
I find this very boring.
I should endeavor to make it more interesting for you, Miss Lane. But first I must explain a few things. You know, of course, what my mission is in this country.
I know what your end will be. Prison for life. And that'll be too good.
I appreciate your concern. But to go on. I am here, Miss Lane, to create panic through fear and destruction. We are fighting a war, your country and mine. I have pledged myself to help win that war with all means at my disposal.
Why don't you get a few poison snakes? They'd be good company for you and this, reptile.
Let me handle her, Heller. I'll make her talk.
One moment. I will do all the handling for the present. Now, as I was saying, Miss Lane, my mission must be performed at any cost. You may not know it, but I have secured the plans and blueprints showing the construction of the mechanical man with which you are familiar. They have been in my possession scarcely 24 hours, and yet we have made amazing progress.
Very interesting.
You will learn how interesting in a few moments. I am going to show you the first of the steel men we have created in this seemingly deserted factory. I'm going to let you decide how he shall be used.
Oh, I wouldn't want to rob you of the pleasure. After all, destruction is your business.
There will be other mechanical men, as many as my mechanics can build. But this one, the first, will be dedicated to you. He is waiting for you, all bright and shining, in the large room across the corridor. Shall we look him over?
I'll decline that privilege if you don't mind.
But I do mind. You must join us, Miss Lane. I said you must join us.
All right. If it satisfies your twisted sense of humor.
Just across the corridor. The mask will open the door for you. Behold, the mechanical man, Miss Lane. The steel monster that will drive strong men to seek shelter. The 10-foot giant that will carry death and destruction in his massive hands. Behold him.
You're nothing but an animal, Heller.
We will save the compliments for some other time. Now watch, while I press a button on this control. Watch how he walks. So. Enough of that. There is something else. I have gone further than your American inventor. I have given the mechanical man the power of speech. Now he can talk. I pressed this button. Listen.
I am the mechanical man. Nothing can stop me. Run for your lives. Run. I am
Why
the
do you shrink back, Miss
mechanical
Lane?
man.
It doesn't frighten you, does it?
Let me out of here.
Just a moment. This is your mechanical man, if you remember. He is ready to be sent out on his first assignment. I was thinking perhaps that it would be wise to send him to one of the shipyards close by. You see, the carrier on his chest is loaded with incendiary bombs. They will explode when he reaches the yard. There is much wood in a shipyard. It will burn easily.
And so will the men working there.
You're both raving maniacs. You're not human. You can't be. Even dogs have more sense of decency.
You wish to save the shipyard from destruction, Miss Lane? You would like to spare the lives of the men who might be trapped in the fire? Well, it is very simple. Tell us who else besides yourself knew of my whereabouts in the city. Tell us how and why you paid me a visit masquerading as a foreign agent.
You think I'm a fool, Heller?
On the contrary, I regard you as a very sensible young woman. You have it within your power to prevent a catastrophe.
The answer is no.
Roll back the side doors, please.
With pleasure.
Have you changed your mind, Miss Lane?
The answer is still no.
Very well. Then we shall send our monster on his way.
I am the mechanical man. Nothing can stop me. Run for your lives. Run.
Terrified, Lois looks on as the huge 10-foot steel giant heads for the open doors, mouthing its horrible chant. Will she stop it, or is it too late? The lives of innocent men hang in the balance. What will happen? Don't forget to be with us for the next thrilling episode. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look,